Hello everyone, in today's video I wanted to talk about CE marks and UKCA marks as well. How do they apply to Amazon FBA sellers and what steps you should take in order to be compliant? So let's start with talking about what is CE mark actually, and you've probably seen the CE marks everywhere, but what is it really? Okay, is it some kind of certificate? Is it some kind of magical mark you need to put on the packaging? What is it? Okay, and should Amazon sellers be bothered at all? And remember, after Brexit, the CE mark will only apply to European countries, and the UK CE mark, starting with the 1st of January 2022, will apply. The UKCA mark will apply to UK market. Okay, so if you are planning to sell in Europe, you will need to deal with CE marks. If you are planning to sell in the UK, you are going to need to deal with UKCA marks. So the most common misconception I noticed is that CE or UKCA, in fact, is some kind of certificate, okay, which is really not. Okay, the CE or UKCA mark is a simply confirmation. Okay, it's a signage, it's a mark that you put on the packaging to confirm that your product is safe and sound for the given market. Okay, and that the fact that it meets the criteria, the safety criteria, it's safe to use, etc. So how does this apply to Amazon FBA sellers? Well, legally in the UK and European countries, you will be deemed as a manufacturer, okay? So you will be legally responsible for ensuring the safety of your products that you sell on Amazon. So there are some categories, there are some niches, like for example electronics or toys and games. Do your research online as well, okay, because there is more that actually they require the CE mark and the UKCA mark on the packaging. Okay, but how do we deal with that? Quite simple actually. Well, first of all, if there is no mark on your packaging, and if you try to ship that product from, say for example, your supplier in China into UK Amazon warehouse, then it will not pass custom clearance. Okay, if your product is classed as toys and games, or it's an electronic and it doesn't have the CE mark on it, then it will simply not pass customs clearance. So that's pretty much ends the story here. Okay, and you won't be able to sell on Amazon. So I'll give you the 5 steps to follow. They are very simple, and the first step is you need to exactly find out what safety regulations to meet. Okay, is your product classed as medical item? Is your product classed as toys and games? Is it a small electronics? Okay, is it something else? You need to find out what regulations you need to meet. So for example, for toys and games, you would need to meet EN 71 directive, okay, which is all about toys and games safety for children. Okay, for small electronics, you, depending on the type of the electronics, if it's using radio waves, okay, there are some regulations around this. So you need to find out what exact regulations your product needs to meet, and then you simply need to request this paperwork from your supplier. Okay, so not all suppliers have this paperwork, and trust me, you need to ask for it. Okay, this is your responsibility, so you need to go back to your supplier and say, hey, for this product, do you have this and this certificate? If they do, they should be happy to send and provide you with that certificate before you place an order, keyword before. Okay, and then what you need to do, step number 3, is examine this paperwork, see what it is about. Okay, see if it's passed. Okay, see where the paperwork is coming from. What it says, does the supplier's name match on the paperwork? Is the product pictures, okay, is it the same as your product? So you need to examine that paperwork, and once you are happy with that paperwork, you need to keep that documentation on your computer in a folder, etc., just in case somebody comes and say, hey, can I see that documentation that supports the CE mark you have applied to the packaging? Okay, So keep that documentation somewhere, and once you are happy with all that documentation, once you are happy with all that certification from the supplier, only then you can apply the CE mark or UKCA mark to your packaging, okay, along with all the other required information, like for example your company address or Amazon barcode labels. Okay, so make sure to check out that video that is displayed somewhere on the screen, because in that video I'm talking about what needs to be on that packaging, and I'm showing you some examples as well, and do a little bit more reading about that as well. There is plenty of resources available online to find out a little bit more on what the CE mark is, what the UKCA mark is, and what kind of requirements you need to meet. But those are the 5 steps. First, you need to find out what certificates, what regulations you need to meet. Then you need to request the paperwork from your supplier. Then you need to examine that paperwork. You need to keep the documentation in relation to this product on your computer or in a folder. And then you need to apply the CE or UKCA mark to the packaging of your product. So if this video helped you, you don't really have to do anything, but if you want to learn more about Amazon FBA, I do encourage you to subscribe to this channel, help me grow this channel, and hit the bell for notifications as well, so you don't lose any upcoming content. And if you want to learn how to become Amazon seller, I've got free training which I will link to in below the video, and also I've got a WealthX project training. Okay, this is a free training to get rid of those limiting programming and reset your wealth thermostat while building your cash machines for you. Okay, so I'll put the link down below description as well, and I hope to see you in the training and the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.